This program is brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, www.reevesfirm.com.
In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know. Tony Reeves. Tony Reeves. Tony Reeves. Tony Reeves. Fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things to talk about. What does it mean? What will it bring? Is this a reality we simply have to accept? Tony Reeves. Fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
What should you do once you've received Social Security disability benefits? Okay. When you get approved, let's say you got approved and you get your money for Social Security, you're going to get, once you get approved, you're going to get overwhelmed with a lot of paperwork. I mean, because during the time from the moment you're approved to the moment that you start getting payments, they're going to be sending you, and they meaning the Social Security Administration is going to be sending you all kind of paperwork, adjusting and talking about how this is how much you're going to get, this is what your back pay is, this is when you're going to get the back pay, this is the dollar amount, here's the breakdown. You're going to see all this stuff and get overwhelmed. Here's a few things that you need to recognize. One, take a breath. Depending on how long you've been in the process, you deserve it. Okay, you've gone through it. I don't care if it's 2 months or 2 years. Okay, I just dealt with a client not too long ago that literally we were fighting for her disability. It took us 5 years to get her benefits. 5 years. And first thing out of my mouth when I told her, when she got her benefits, I told her, take a breath, because it's been 5 years. Okay, a lot happened during that time period. If you're blessed enough to have a special person in your life who can kind of help support you during this time period, you know, you consider yourself lucky, but a lot of people would have lost a lot of things during that time period. I mean, lose homes, cars, your well-being in terms of, you know, some people are couch surfing. They're going from family member to friend and friend to family member. It's a devastating thing. And to finally be in a position where you've gotten some money and so forth. Whew, all right. First, take a breath and because you deserve it. Second of all, recognize this is probably not your new normal forever. What do you mean by that? You probably, depending on how old you are, if you're under the age of 60 or something like that, I'm going to probably say, I'm not going to say definitively, but if you're under the age of 60 or so, you're probably going to get a disability review. That means at some point the Social Security Administration is going to come back and they're going to look at your case because they're going to try to determine whether they believe you are still disabled. So what does that mean for you? You need to be as diligent and as aggressive as continuing your medical treatment. And most of these things you should be doing anyway along the way, so that if at any point in time the Social Security Administration does a review, you still have ongoing medical treatment to demonstrate that you are disabled. I say this because you would be surprised the number of people, who roll the dice, okay, who roll the dice and think that they've gotten Social Security and they've gotten that holy grail and they stop going for ongoing treatment. And people, because a lot of persons follow my videos and I really appreciate this. And when I'm telling you certain things, you know, I've had a couple of people and I kind of laugh when I see the comments who are like, this guy's an idiot. Does he really think that people? Pause for a second. When I'm telling you stuff, I'm not pulling it out the crack of my thigh. I'm telling you based on experiences that I've had. I've had clients who have gotten large lump sums of money from Social Security, and they were so happy, and they stopped being as diligent about going for treatment. And then after me telling them this, 3 or 4 years later, they come back freaking out because they're like, oh my God, I got a letter saying I'm going for a review. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, well, I haven't gone to a doctor in like years. Why'd you stop going? Well, you know, once I got my money, I'm thinking, ugh. And I tell them, I said, well, I'm not telling you you have to go to the doctor every day, but most people, when you're in tough shape, you're going to go to the doctor regardless. But you need to be aware of the fact that at some point, Social Security, they're going to come back around. So be mindful of the fact that you have an ongoing duty. Listen to the words, an ongoing duty to prove that you're disabled. Now, third thing you need to be mindful of. Listen, being on disability benefits is not part of your life plan. I know that, you know that. So guess what? You're probably going to sit here probably about a couple months in after you've gotten your lump sum and you started taking care of a few things. You're going to realize that you are now on a fixed income. Think about it. When you were working, You could always get you a side gig if things got a little tight, or you could work a couple of extra hours or anything like that. Ain't no problem. I understand. But now you're disabled, and it's a little different. And so now you start to ask yourself, well, I need to supplement this. Maybe I should do a little bit of part-time work. Is that going to affect my case? Well, I want to try to see if I can get a job. I think I'm well enough to try, but I don't want to screw up my disability benefits. What do I need to do? Listen, first of all, let me just tell you right now, let the force be with you, okay? The Social Security Administration is not the empire. They are not, the Sith. They are not the First Order. They're not the devil. They're not any of those funky fly analogies that I could use and so forth. Before you make a decision, ask them. They have the resources. You'd be surprised. I talked to different people at different Social Security offices, and they've said it's surprising number of people who don't use this as a resource. But what happens is that the average person thinks that if they go and they say something to Social Security, that they are putting them on alert, that maybe they're not disabled anymore. And you're looking at it the wrong way. And this is what I tell people all the time. You're looking at it backwards. You're thinking that if you don't say nothing, they ain't gonna come and bother you. They're going to come bother you at some point. So why would you put yourself in a position of trying to hide with the hopes that they don't say nothing to you? If you're thinking about going and test the workplace, be proactive. Get in the front. Don't come in behind. Don't go out and do something crazy, get your benefits turned off, and then you scramble to get them turned back on. Go to Social Security. Tell them that you're thinking about doing this and finding out what your options are. Be educated. Get as much knowledge as you can so that when you're making your life decisions, you can make them in a way that's for the best way for you and your loved one. Because remember, being on disability is not a part of your life plan. Recognize. I know that. You know that. I know that. You know that. So let's make this thing do what it do. So when you get disability benefits, enjoy it for what it is for that moment. Remember, you have an ongoing duty to continue proving that you're disabled. And if at any point in time you decide you want to test the market or try your hand at working, contact Social Security so that you will know what the ramifications of you trying to work or to test the market will have on your disability benefits.